Certainly. Based on the information I gathered about Tira. 2 houses. Here's a fictional, Chapter 1, that sets the stage for this fantasy epic. Chapter 1. The Gathering Storm. In the twilight of a fading day, the kingdom of Lagaria stood quiet under a shroud of unease. To the north, the towering peaks of the Dragonspine Mountains cast long shadows over the forested valleys, where the whispers of an impending invasion grew louder with each passing wind. In the heart of Lagaria, the ancient city of Gelt awaited its fate. Its walls, thick with the history of countless sieges, now bristled with the tension of the coming storm. At the city's highest tower, a council was convened, a gathering of the realm's mightiest and wisest, summoned by the king himself to deliberate their grim prospects. Among them was Jos, a knight of considerable renown, whose exploits in the border skirmishes had earned him the respect of his peers and the fear of his enemies. His eyes, steely and resolute, scanned the room, taking in the anxious faces of his fellow counselors. "The reports are clear," began Elder Inrich, his voice a somber echo in the chamber. "The enemy has mobilized. Their forces, led by the ruthless tyrant Moroth, are vast and cruel. Their path of conquest leaves no survivors." A murmur of dread swept through the chamber. Moroth's name was cursed in whispers and feared in silence. His dominion over the neighboring lands had been absolute and brutal, and now his gaze was set on Lagaria. Jos rose, his armor clinking softly. "Fear will not protect us," he declared. "We must unite, not just as houses of nobility, but with every village, every hamlet. We stand together, or we fall divided." His words stirred a fire in the hearts of the council. It was decided. Envoys would be sent to every corner of the realm to rally the people under one banner, and Jos, with his unyielding spirit, would lead a contingent to the Westfold, where the farmers and villagers had long suffered under bandit raids. Their loyalty was uncertain, their spirits broken, but their aid was crucial. As the council disbanded, the air thick with the urgency of war, Jos prepared for his journey. He knew the road ahead would be fraught with danger, not just from the looming enemy, but from the shadows within. Trust was a rare commodity in times of war. By nightfall, Jos and his retinue rode out under a crescent moon, the clatter of their horses' hooves a defiant beat against the silence. Their path took them through the whispering woods, where legends spoke of spirits and creatures unseen. It was here that fate would have Jos encounter a strange figure, a lone wanderer cloaked in mystery. "Who goes there?" Jos called, his hand on the hilt of his sword as the figure stepped into the moonlight. "A friend," replied the wanderer, lowering her hood. Her eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light, her presence both unsettling and mesmerizing. "I am Freyja," she said, her voice a melody that seemed to dance with the rustling leaves. "I have seen the darkness that comes, but I bring tidings of hope for those who dare to listen." Intrigued and wary, Jos bade her speak. Freyja spoke of an ancient alliance, long forgotten, hidden deep within the mountains, of allies fierce and noble who could turn the tide of war. But to summon them, a great price must be paid. Jos listened, each word weaving a tapestry of possibility and peril. As dawn broke, casting light on the uncertain path ahead, a decision loomed. Would he heed the mystic's words, or was this another shadow play, a diversion from the real threat at hand? With a determined breath, Jos made his choice. The journey to the Dragonspine was fraught with risk, but hope was a flame that not even the darkest night could extinguish. As Frege disappeared as silently as she had appeared, leaving only a lingering trace of her essence, Jos and his men pressed onward. The fate of Lagaria was not yet sealed, and in their hearts burned the promise of a dawn yet to come. This opening chapter sets the stage for an epic struggle, introducing key characters and setting up the initial movements of a larger, unfolding story.